Paula P works here. Hey, wake up. We got new SBS, buddy. So yeah, SBS 108 has dropped for volume 108. And we got a bit of some interesting information. Not a whole lot. It's a lot of visual gag stuff, which I quite enjoy. The cover's great. Cool composition. We get a little more info on Mihawk. So this is a question proposed by a reader. Hello, Oda Sensei. In chapter 1058, Crocodile mentioned that Mihawk was called the Marine Hunter in the past. Is this somehow related to the reason why Mihawk became a warlord, right? And then Oda responds and says that Mihawk has some sort of grudge against the Marines specifically because of a betrayal. In the sense of solitude, he's just like Crocodile, who doesn't trust people and is kind of getting tired of life, which is interesting. Being a member of the Seven Warlords means he won't be chased by the Marines, so he'll be granted his peace. However, due to the warlord system being abolished, that peace has been disrupted, and now he finds solitude hiding in the shadow of Buggy. So that's kind of interesting, because, like, what was the grudge? What kind of set him off to hunt Marines then? And is it because he hunted so many Marines is why he has the title of the greatest swordsman in the world? That's just kind of an interesting thought to think about. I wonder why that is. And moving forward, I wonder, is this going to have any impact on him and Buggy's relationship? Because how I'm seeing it, with Crocodile too, this applies. I think they're going to just turn Mihawk and Crocodile into funny little guys, because much like how Sanji and Zoro are funny little guys because they hang out with Luffy, I think that's going to rub off on Mihawk and Crocodile, and they too will fall to the funny little guy syndrome of One Piece, because they hang out with a kind of comic relief character. So yeah, that's what I kind of think what's going to happen in the future. And next we got this beautiful drawing of what Ivankov would look like if he ate the fish fruit model Azure Dragon, and it is horrifying. Very good, like it a lot. But important thing to notice, because Ivankov is a human, when he eats the fruit, he is proposed to only have one set of horns, whereas Kaido, I believe, has two because he's an Oni. With Zoan fruits and with all Dole fruits, it's under the idea that this is a human perception of whatever. So in this case, it's the human legend of what the carp jumping over the waterfall to become a dragon. That's the whole thing. This applies to every sort of Dole fruit. It always has the human condition in mind, because the human condition is what popped the Dole fruit into existence in the first place. At least that's what Vegapunk tells us. So, moving off of that, we see Thiggerland Garland and what he would look like if he grew his hair and beard out and he just becomes a full moon. Fantastic. Capital. Ridiculous. I love it. I love it. So we learn the name of the female Marine that hit Garp when I believe the discussion of going to Pirate Island to save Kobe was starting to get underway. And her name is Ototo Gisu, and she is a subordinate of Vice Admiral Suduru, the woman with the wash fruit. I can never pronounce her name correctly, but yeah, she is her subordinate. We also find out that Cinderella, the woman who was crowned Miss Universe, married Wapple specifically for money, which makes sense because her laugh is literally gold. Dig. So yeah. Also, I was wrong. Because I believe Tachi Spins, I think that's where I got it from. Tachi Spins. The idea of Kuma was that the reason why his hair is in the shape of bear ears is because of an effect of the pawpaw fruit. That is not the case. The reason why Kuma's hair is like that, because he never combs his hair and it just defaults into that shape. It's bedhead. That's amazing. The reason why he has bear ears is because of bedhead. I ain't even mad. That's fantastic. Oda also confirms that the guys who saved the library of Ohara were the members of the New Giant Pirates, which were Girth and Goldberg and Haruden, who are now members of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. So that's cool. And we have all the hobbies of the sword members. Drake likes reptiles and astrophysics. Kujaku, the woman with the whip fruit, likes taming others and making sweets. Groose, our boy, loves solo camping and dancing. Never thought of him as a dancer, but that kind of explains the stylish shoes, I guess, and why he's always so dripped out. Kobe, our main lad here, loves sea fishing and training, which, okay, that makes sense because that kind of goes with his character and how he became so based. Hibari, his girlfriend, loves photography and pouch collecting. Wonder if she'll get the pocket fruit, because Blamenko may be dead, I think. And then Helmeppo, our boy, loves fashion, walking, and eating. I know he loves fashion because his drip, like in Shellstown, that suit is kind of baller. He was always well dressed, so that makes sense. And then we see him, I think, for the first time in a restaurant. Apparently, the Marine headquarters has an elite group of chefs known as the Yawn Cooks. Okay. Which literally means 4 head cooks. Among them is Winter Cuisine, Koma Kakove, who was selected as the chef for Saturn and Kizaru during their escort to Egghead. So when you see Kizaru chowing down during that chapter when they pull up to Egghead, this guy is the guy who has made all the food. And I think Saturn was enjoying some delicious looking frankfurters or something like that. Yeah, so this guy who is the Winter Cuisine, Koma Kakove, made all that. Super cool. And we learn a little bit about Hachinosu, the pirate island. Apparently, even though it is a nation of villains, there is commerce going on. They are organized. There are shops, which is interesting. Yeah. Oda mentions how there are no traditional civilians on Pirate Island, but former criminals run the local establishments. Though the island may be lawless, its criminals still follow some rules. That is fascinating. So it's literally a nation of villains. Man, Blackbeard's got it made. That's cool. That's cool. I like that a lot. I would love to see how things work there now, beyond the little snippets that we've gotten. Like on a normal average day, I would love to see how these things roll on and go about, because that's kind of interesting. Are like the Titanic captains treated as, like, say, the Don Quixote family were treated in Dressrosa? Would a local person just wave to Kuzan as he goes to buy his bread from the local bakery? I don't know. That's something to think about. I like that idea, though. And apparently, the name of the Cross Guild ship is known as the Big Top Blaster, which is a sick name. Oh, that's good. We also see what Roger's sword looks like. If you don't know, Roger's sword is named Ace. So yes, he named his son after his sword. And it's just like some old geezer that looks like Kizaru a little bit, with the sort of like the cutlass hilt on his head, because he looks like he's bald. But based on how the cutlass hilt is sitting on his head, he looks like he's wearing a teacup on his head. A question came up about a few other things. So, the woman that hugs Shanks during the time that we see all of Shanks' like fleet commanders and whatnot, her name is Liniara of the Butterfly Pirates. She was saved by Shanks when she was a child. From then on, she idolized Shanks and became a pirate. She is a dangerous arsonist with the epithet Catching Fire Liniara. Her catchphrase is, I will follow Shanks. So that's a cool little detail. And then lastly, which I thought this was confirmed already, because the information came out, I want to say, like a year ago. Somebody asked, is Big News Morgans a flightless bird from the mink race? And Oda explains, no. The mink race have no bird species in it. The mink race is composed of animal humanoids with fluffy hairs, or like coats of fur. That's what they call mink. With that being said, Morgans is the user of the bird fruit, model Albatross, who is always in his human hybrid form. I wonder what he really looks like in his human form. Now, I did a short on this a while ago. I made the observation that during Punk Hazard, there is a random guy who kind of looks like Lucy, who's in a top hat. That could be Morgans in his human form. That's completely up to speculation, but that's what I thought. It may not be him, because he was a part of the Underworld Brokers, the guy I'm mentioning. The Underworld is still a very highly unexplored thing in One Piece, and as we probably get more into Cross Guild, more and more will come out about that. That being said, that's all I have for you today. Give me your thoughts.